Hello? Hello? Check, check. Hey, we are live. Sorry. Walk into the building like that, you see it on camera, and you think, I'm going to be on camera. Fellas, how is everybody tonight? We're live from downtown Champaign, Illinois. If tonight was your first time ever seeing one of these, then I just apologize. You know, I'm in an office late at night by myself. It makes you act weird. Tonight is more spread option. Talking with Ron Mckie, Mr. Spread Offense, and we're going to be live. We're going to bring him on in like a minute or two. Excited to do so. And then following our half hour with Ron Mckie, then we'll put on a clinic from the online clinic. That's clinic.chiefpigskin.com. And tonight's clinic is one of the most coveted ones that we have because it's by Derek Leonard of Rochester, Illinois. And Rochester has won 7 of the last Illinois state titles. They're really incredible. And what he does is very special. He just does an incredible job. I'm going to go over and tweet this out that we are live. We are live. And we'll say with Ron Mckie. With Ron Mckie at Coach Mckie Jr. There we go. Let's go. Come say hi. Come say hi. Okay, we got that promoted out and tweeted out. If you're in the house with us, please check in. Please say hi. Let us know that you're here. Talking more spread option. It's our last one of the week. And next week is a shortened week. Only 2 next week. This is week 11, man. We've been at this for quite some time. Let's get Coach Mckie in here. Here we go. There he is. There's the man. How are you?
What's up, Coach?
I'll tell you what. I don't usually get guys in here that have such quality mics.
Hey, I learned from you, man. I realized if I wanted to step up my production game, I would have to get a decent mic.
I'm going to have to spend some money. You know, I'll tell you what. So a lot of people, first of all, love what you do. Love your hustle. Love it. Big fan. So I know that you know the world of video production and online hustle well. It can be a grind, man. I don't know if people realize what a grind it can be.
Yes. You got to steal time, especially when you have 2 kids under 5.
Right. I know. Like a little night like tonight, tough for you. Now, are you teaching?
I am.
And what do you teach?
I am a math teacher.
Really? High school?
Yes. Right now, I teach everything up into calculus. If I have to teach calculus, everybody's getting an A because I don't know it.
Have you always taught math?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I have. I've always done it. That's just my secret way of always being able to get a football job. That's
the deal. See, when I was a young pup, I didn't think like that. I didn't think in terms of how to be smart about getting a job. I thought, what's going to be the easiest and what do I like the most? I was not very smart. I chose art.
Well, I can tell. I mean, look at your office behind you, and then look at mine. I've got a piece of furniture that my wife won't let me throw away. It has a lot of grits in it. We're a big grits family. We didn't know where to put it. We don't have storage, so it's in the drawers. As in actual grits that you eat. Yes, my kids love grits. Like we go to Sam's and just buy bulk. And we have nowhere to put them. No. I don't know, Ron. I don't know if I've ever actually had grits. It's a Southern thing, man. It's a Southern thing. I literally have never had grits. You haven't lived until you had it, though. I'm gonna go tweet this out live right now, and then we're gonna start talking ball. Okay. Live right now with Ron Mckie. Come say hi. How about that? Okay. Come say hi. So, Coach, I've been doing this as week number 11, Monday through Thursday nights, week number 11, right? Go to school, do my thing, teach. Don't have to go to practice. You guys aren't playing either, are you? Yeah, we are. Which Carolina are you in? South Carolina. You're in South Carolina. Were you ever in North? You've always been in South. I just knew I know a lot of people in North Carolina. You guys are playing. What school are you at right now, Coach? I am at Batesburg, Leesville. It's a new job. this year.
Batesburg, Leesville. And you're the OC?
I am.
Okay, remember I told you I was going to jump around like crazy. So here I go jumping. First of all, been doing this 11 weeks now. And fellas, when you guys get here, be sure to check in the chat. Would love to have you check in. And so now next week, week 12, last one for anybody that's watching. Next Tuesday will be our last one before we take a little break. What's up, Coach Steve in the house? Coach Larry in the house. Good to see you guys. We'll take a little break after that, but we've been grinding, so we just try to balance between a good conversation with our guys, our guy that's an actual guest here via Zoom, and our guys in the chat over here. So we just try to go back and forth, and we'll bounce back and forth. So guys in the chat, if we ask a question and you want to respond, by all means, respond. Ron, you are known for talking offense, talking spread offense online, and we're going to talk some spread offense. But first, I had to ask, if you were to get switched over and be a DC right now, what do you think you'd look to run first defensively?
3-3, the stack with 4 eyes, man.
Stack with 4 eyes?
Yes.
Okay, tell me more.
Yes.
Do tell more. Why?
I just think 4 eyes take away. A lot of coaches, when they're in the spread, they want to run the ball. They think they're pulling a fast one over it. Defensive coordinators like, hey, we're spread out. We're going to pass the ball. Psych, we're going to run it. And I know that 4 eyes really give me problems. Can't run inside zone because that's one of the hardest blocks in high school is that tackle blocking down on a defensive end, shooting the gap, the B gap. That's his gap. And I know that really eliminates things. That eliminates inside zone. It's very difficult if you're going to do any kind of counter scheme because you're going to pull in both of them. And I'm just going to get in that hip pocket and chase. It messes with the read because a lot of coaches will teach their quarterback to read the defensive end instead of the C gap. So if they see that guy crashing, they're like, oh, the end's crashing. I'm going to pull. And then you can play the games on the backside and smack the quarterback in the mouth. And I would also pair that with 1 high. For the life of me, I don't know why defensive coaches just don't go 1 high. They think they have to be Nick Saban or Gary Patterson and play that quarters coverage. Go 1 high. You take away the bubble screens because everyone's telling them to throw the screens pre-snap. I mean, just get in the face and then bail if you're cover 3. But you see so many people when you got 3-by-1, they want to put that safety on the left hash, on the weak hash, and that other safety over there, and just one apex guy, and be like, if they want to throw it all day, they will, and they do, and it works. So just spin it down. I don't know. For the life, it kind of pisses me off, as you can tell.
Hold that thought, Coach Mckie. The guys in the chat, what's up, fellas? Cody Oates in the house from Alabama. He says he's a big fan of yours. Thanks for checking in. Johnny M in the house. Johnny, let us know where you're from. Would love to know where you're from, where you coach. Guys, welcome. If you're here for the first time tonight, we go live usually Monday through Thursday nights around 8 o'clock. Monday night's the exception. We go 9 o'clock. But we're just always here, man, just hanging out. Very low key, extremely low key, no agenda, just hanging out. We bounce back and forth between you guys in the chat and our guest, tonight's guest, Ron Mckie, Mr. Spread Offense. But I couldn't resist asking him, Coach, what defense would you run? He said, without hesitation, 3-3 stack,
yeah,
run 4 eyes.
I got my start on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh,
That's where I started
as
a linebacker coach, and I played linebacker in college.
Did you really? Where was that?
I did at Newberry, a small D2 school in South Carolina.
No kidding. Played linebacker. Felipe Beach in the house, Ironton, Ohio. Great to have you, Coach Steve. First of all, Coach Steve, I love Coach Steve. He's been running his own podcast for a little while. He's getting things going. I was a guest. That's right.
I think last week.
And he's just such a junkie. He's an absolute junkie. Loves it. He'll support everyone. I love that about him. So I try to support him as much as I can. He called you the GOAT of the spread, though, man. Look at that.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like a goat with my beard. That's what he's trying to say.
Here's what's cool, Ron. You got a really great following, man. Guys are really loyal to you. And I was thinking, like, if I was ever to try to grow my own YouTube. Now, Chief Pigskin's mine, I get it, right? But it's like I'm trying more. It's more just clinic general. If I ever kicked up my old one again, that Coach Allball, that was just me. I was like, honestly, my greatest path to growth would be to just try to argue with Ron as much as possible because you have such loyal following. Those guys would get mad, and then I think all the under center guys would team up with me. I think that would be my fastest path.
that and playing games with your kid, man. I remember what you used to play Fortnite. You still play that with your son?
So I did, but I got on this huge FIFA kick.
Everybody I talk to is like, FIFA's that. I suck at FIFA. I just smash buttons. I don't know what I'm doing.
I love it. Okay, so I grew up NCAA, right?
Yes.
And love NCAA 14. Love it, right? Well, then it goes away. Mouse Madden. Then I rolled into FIFA, and dude, I'm hooked. I don't play any other game now. Now I haven't played many games since I've gone live here the last 12 weeks. That's really cut in on my games. But when I game, I play FIFA. Johnny M says you need West Coast coach to moderate the wing T versus spread debate. That would be fun. We'll take you up on that. So Ron Mckie was saying we're going to get to spread, and I want to pick your brain like crazy. But real quick, my first thought when you said 2-4 eyes, I thought, well, then why not just go 3-4? Because that seems to be, in my opinion, that's probably the most in vogue right now. In my opinion, 3-4. 2-4 eyes, that seems to be the most in vogue. But you said right away, I was going to say, why 3-3? And you said, I want one high.
Yeah.
So again, you like that one high because?
You get the extra guy. I don't know how they do that defensive math where 6 comes into 9 on 2 high. I don't understand it. But the reason why I like one high is because you're putting more people in the box. And again, in high school, at least where I'm at, not that many people pass the ball. They don't. And a lot of coaches aren't in one high because they're always worried about the dreaded 4 verts. But go through the games that you've played. How many times do the guys you're playing against actually run 4 verts? A lot of the time. They never do.
Right.
Because it is a difficult pass to do. I mean, usually when you go 4 verts against another team, that quarterback's locked in on one guy. And if you can tell, with the film study and everything, what guy he throws it to, just lock him down and make the other people beat you. And no one does that because I know spread coaches get a lot of flack about being in the spread and stuff like that. Defensive coaches are just as bad. They're just as bad. They want to run the latest things that they see. They want to do like Brett Venables, what he's doing at Clemson. They want to do, what Nick Saban is doing or what George is doing and things like that. But I think it's a lot of coaches don't understand the nuances of those defense to talk trash about it. Mm-hmm. But since offense is a little bit easier because there's a lot more material out there and everybody kind of runs the same stuff, it's easier to trash talk on social media about that.
Wait, spread guys take heat?
Oh God, yes.
I thought it was just us wing T guys. Well, then
y'all.
Who doesn't take heat?
Exactly. That's how it is now.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like you're gonna get heat.
Exactly. If you like peanut butter and jelly, someone's gonna say that's the devil's food. And give you a list of reasons why.
That's the truth, man. Hey, let's talk some offense. Here's the deal. First of all, let me ask this, and I do jump around like crazy. I apologize for that. But I just kind of roll with it. I want it to be natural. This is kind of what it would be like if we were hanging out one night, right? How do you explain your personal offense? So I know that you could turn on that camera, man, and create a video about so many things. But when you build yours, when you attack, how do you identify your style?
If I can, I'm going to throw it as many times as possible. And if defenses try to take that away, then I will run it. For instance, past 2 games ago, we threw the ball over 30 times, close to 300 yards, 6 passing touchdowns. Unbelievable game. The next game we played, that team decided to take the pass away. They weren't going to let us throw the ball. So then we turned around and rushed it for over 30 times, close to 300 yards and 6 touchdowns. So I am a pass first guy, but I think it's easier to pass to set up the run than it is to run to set up the pass.
In the chat here real quick, Coach, it says, let's see, Johnny M says it's something along the lines of safeties get into run fits, play cutback or ball. I think he was talking about your defense. Johnny M says, you ever do DMT?
Yeah, Joe
I'm not
Rogan
sure what he means by that.
Yeah, I got the chat up.
Okay.
Joe Rogan, yeah, he talks about DMT a lot. It's a psychedelic. And no, I haven't. Only thing I smoke is is meat.
Hey, had you still got that channel going, the smoking?
I do. Bringing the smoke.
Bringing the
do.
smoke. I started
haven't
following
done
you
that
on
in a while
Instagram.
yet.
Yeah, I was like, but I haven't seen a post for a little while. You got some sweet logos, and then, life's busy. I get it.
Zero Dark 30 because football started, and
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I didn't realize smoking meats was that difficult. I mean, I've ruined some meat now.
Really?
I have ruined. Yes.
See,
Yes, I got the charcoal, and everybody I've talked to said that that's kind of more advanced. That if you want to just start out, you should get like electric because you can kind of control it really easy with charcoal. You gotta. I was like, well, I didn't know, and man, I tried to make a smoked Boston butt.
Okay.
Good God, it was awful.
Really?
It was awful, man.
Here's the thing about smoking meat. So a smoker's fairly good size. I feel like it would feel odd to put some tiny piece of meat in there. So you probably usually put a pretty good sized piece of meat, which means this thing cost you a pretty penny.
Yeah, it did.
And now you're like, okay, let me try to make this thing work.
And everybody's excited about eating it. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to put it on at 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll have it ready by 6. We'll eat, and then dinner's, let's go to Chick-fil-A.
All right, man. So you said you want to throw first, and you said next team is taking it away. What do you mean now? Let's be a little more specific. They were lining up and they were showing this, or you were struggling to throw the ball, so then you ran, or did you see it right away by alignment?
I threw it, started off, and then they were doing some crazy stuff. They would twist. They were the 4-man front. They would do tackle and twist, but then the tackles would drop back into pass coverage. So they're literally dropping 9.
They were dropping
a lot of the times.
D linemen. Yeah. Okay.
And sorry, this fell out. And when I saw that, I was like, well, that's stupid. Why are we trying to pass the ball when they're dropping so many people? Let's run it. Mm-hmm. And that's what we did.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? The same, and not that what I do is very similar to what you do, but for us, when we start getting teams that are trying to twist and such on us, it can really wreak havoc on when we're trying to run like buck sweep. I mean, when you're twisting and stuff and we're trying to run buck sweep, it's like, it is murder. The problem is you can't defend trap and wedge when you're trying to twist, right? Then it's just like it, right? So you've got to have that. Okay, if they're going to do this, which is really effective against blank, then you can't defend blank. Okay, now tell me this. My next question, unless you have something to add to that, Coach.
No, I was going to say that's why I like the wing tee as well. The thought process. It's a system. It has an if-then. I'm just drawn to systems. I have a computer science math degree, so systems just it clicks for me.
Didn't you have to call a wing tee offense for a year?
I something similar. We went to a heavy type of power spread where it was power counter, inside zone, outside zone, things like that. My old head coach was like, we want to do this.
Okay.
And I got it. It was just, dude, I was like, they're putting 10 people in the box. Can we please throw it? Please? And he was like, no, we got to, set the tone. I'm like, okay, what that means.
Hey, Ben Campos in the house. Welcome, Ben. By the way, I missed this way back, but Johnny M. from Maynard, Massachusetts. Welcome, Coach. Welcome. All right, so tell me this. You're the guy. I had to get a guy on here that's a spread guy because, again, even though football, I feel like all of us coaches, we know a lot about most things, but we definitely all focus in certain areas, and we're good in certain areas, better than the average guy in certain areas. I wanted to know, what is Lincoln Riley doing? And that is so special. Help me understand it, because I hate just listening to ESPN and getting their take on it. I want to know it from a guy who loves to watch this stuff and knows coaching.
All right, so this is just my take. He's blended a running attack to it. You hear a lot of criticism from like the other throw coaches like Leach and stuff, like they never throw the ball. They're dropping 8. He's still throwing the ball. And Leach is always like, I don't run the ball regardless if they're dropping 18 people. I'm still going to throw it. Riley has a more dominating run attack, and he's not afraid to run first. And what I like when I watch it, I've kind of fallen in love with gap schemes. This year, it's our best play is the counter, DT counter.
Yeah.
And that's what Riley does a lot with his motions and things like that. And then he's blended that with the best passing concepts of the air raid. And also, I mean, he's just got dudes. I mean, when you don't hear anything about him when he's at Eastern Carolina, but then when you go to Oklahoma and you've got 5-star recruits, everybody's amazing all of a sudden.
So. Yeah, no doubt about that. They've got some special characters. So here's the thing about gap schemes truthfully, obviously, if a wing T guy is a gap guy, as I started learning more about inside zone, there's a lot that I like about inside zone in this. I think the inside zone, and coming from the defensive side, it's very difficult to defend because it's cloudy. Like the run fits are cloudy, and so that's what slows my linebackers down defensively. And if you can slow down my linebackers, let's face it, that helps you, right? You're slowing down it's cloudy, they can't just go. Okay, so inside zone does have that over the gap scheme. And I don't know if I'm right when I say this, but when I feel like gap scheme wise, as I coach it, I feel like it's more like a set of instructions, and when I have a problem, I can go back and troubleshoot it. Almost like I was building a piece of furniture. I had the instructions, something's wrong. I can go back and find that. Again, I could be totally wrong, but I just feel like I could see my fixes. I can see my problems. Maybe more building block like. Counter tray, what else do you guys do gap scheme wise?
Honestly, man, we're very simple. We run inside zone. So what we do is we run certain schemes to certain fronts.
Okay.
And what that does is that allows us to get great at a handful of plays without, we're going to run counter to every single front, regardless of what it is. We run counter. We've got certain ways and calls to get into counter, and we run it only to we run it to the 3 technique. That's it. When we have an odd front, we run 1 back power a lot and that's it. We only have 3. Sometimes we run a trap, but that's more game planned. But I mean, the reason why we're actually halfway decent running the ball, it's not because we're big up front. It's just that we're practicing against certain fronts, which gives the offensive line the confidence to know what they're doing and that I won't put them in a bad situation that they haven't seen before.
I like that, Coach. Tell me this. Well, first of all, I wanted to tell my guys in the chat, first of all, everybody, welcome. And if you're here for if you're here at all, we would love to have you check in there in the chat. Just say hi. Let us know where you coach. Let us know where you're from. Following this conversation with Coach Mckie, which ends in about 10 minutes here, man, the time flies. We'll have one of our clinics from the online clinic playing, and this one is actually one of our videos that is probably in the highest demand from a guy named Derek Leonard from Rochester High School here in Illinois. They've won 7 of the last 9 state titles, and they're a public school. And this guy, if you watch his offense and you watch Riley's offense, they look awfully similar. I'm not an expert in this style of offense. I'm not going to say that it's similar. I'm going to say it sure looks a lot alike, right? A lot of counter tray. They throw the ball incredibly well, man. They'll kill you on the perimeter with screens. I mean, they're just like screen ninjas on the perimeter. It did just kill you there. They go very, very fast. Everything that they've got an awfully good name, and rightfully so. 7 of the last 9 is pretty incredible. They're unbelievable. So that video is coming up after this. If you happen to watch this video more than 24 hours after it releases, that video will be back over on the clinic. That's clinic.chiefpigskin.com. You can check it out anytime. Yeah, Coach Steve. Yeah, Coach Leonard was doing Lincoln Riley stuff before Lincoln Riley. And that's actually, so I was hearing a lot about Riley. And so I watched my first Riley game, right? Because I'm usually, let's face it, Saturday, my TV usually has like Army, Navy, or like those are the things or my Illini, if my Illini are playing, even though they're not any good. So that's where my TV is. But I'm like, I'm gonna watch a Oklahoma game, and I turned it on. I'm like, this looks a lot like Rochester. That was literally, Coach Steve, my first thought. Coach, tell me this. Here's what I was thinking. Here's what I want to go kind of as we close this down. Again, it's a fast conversation. When I look at and this is similar to what Rochester is doing, but if I look at myself, if I were to want to go and spread it out myself, there are some things I really like about this. The perimeter screen game, I'm sold on. It's like I am pulling my hair trying to find ways right now when I was calling offense 2 years ago. to do some of this within my system. It's just too good. And I'm watching too many teams hurt people consistently with it. And in my opinion, it's the easiest throw in the game. So I love this perimeter screen stuff. I love what I'm seeing now. My first thought was I'll be counter tray. I'll have an H-back. I'll be counter tray. I'll be power out of that. But I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of a lot of stuff like Coach Leonard's doing, where maybe I'd be pretty option heavy out of that. Counter tray, but reading that backside end. And instead of power, just going more power read. And just, once you're running counter tray, there's so many different ways to read it. And you could read either side. And there's so much to that. So what if I stayed in 10 personnel? So here's my question to you. Help me draw this up, because here's the piece of the puzzle I don't know. I know for a fact that I love everything involving perimeter screen. I love everything counter tray and reading off of it. I love power read, all this stuff. I want to bring a guy in motion. Sometimes I want jet action. I want counter tray off jet action. What I don't know, Ron, and I say this genuinely, I don't know what to do to stretch the field. I don't I want to keep it simple, but where do I start, right? So picture my package I'm building here, right? And I still feel like I'll be a run first guy. I want to be very, very good at this. What do I want when I want to stretch the field?
The easiest would tag Y cross off of that, which I mean,
But I've heard that's really time intensive.
It's like waggle.
Okay.
That's all it is. I mean, that really, you got a guy going vertical, you got a guy coming across, and then you have another one coming back. So the easiest way to do that is, let's say you got two twins, two backs, wide receiver to the right. You fake the counter. You got the single receiver running a vertical, the slot running the cross, the further right guy running a 15-yard dig. That's it. 1, 2, 3. And then just have one of the backs leak out to the flat, to the two receiver side for the OS. I call it, the OS word. And then you just throw it out there. That's it. Okay. I mean, just have that. Then just have wassail, which is the opposite. You got the two receivers, one goes vert, one goes out, and the other guy, the single receiver guy, 15 and in. So one's reading left to right, the other one's reading right to left. Simple enough.
Okay, you lost me a little bit on wassail. Where's my first look wassail? So are you picturing 2x2 still?
Yeah, still 2x2, still the same formation, 2x2 to the right. All right, so wassail is now you're starting on the two receiver side.
Okay.
Outside wide receiver, who I call the R, vertical. The slot, which I call the Y, 10-yard out. And then the L, the single receiver, has a 15-yard in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you just, one way you're reading it left to right, the other way you're reading it right to left.
Got you. And so, okay, so I want to start with those two, Y cross, Y sail. I speak in that language.
Feels good, doesn't it?
What next? What more? Surely I wouldn't go into a game with only perimeter screens, Y cross, and Y sail.
You really could, man.
Really?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Todd, what's going on, man? I got the chat out too. You really could.
Coach place.
Seriously, you can. And see, that's a lot of, once you have the fake screens and goes on that's your entire offense. Maybe have a stick concept, just a quick game.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't need that much, because I think that coaches get in their own head and think they need to have a massive playbook just in case the defense does something.
Yeah.
You're coaching ghost. Just 80-20 it. Those are the 20% of your plays are going to get you the 80% of the results that you have. And then when you factor in all defense and special teams, that can be your entire offense. It's just coaches, I don't think they have the balls to do it. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you go look at any really good offense that's very successful, that scored a lot of points, they're really basic. Mike Leach is very basic. Paul Johnson, he was very basic. I mean, he only had a couple of them. Art Briles, when he was doing his thing at Baylor, very basic. So, I mean, if you get basic and you just get perfect at it, you can do it.
So, and here's the last thing I'll throw on there too, because the only part that I couldn't see myself using, at least right now, not that it's not good because I've watched it work, is okay, so picture counter tray up front, I'm reading my first man, and then I'm gonna pick it up and make a downfield read beyond that, right? Let's say some sort of RPO concept. It doesn't fit my philosophy because I am a low risk guy. I feel like everything else I've talked about is very, very low risk. I mean, it's the same reason I switched back in 2010. I was a flex bone guy for a year. When I first went under center, actually my first year head coaching ever, I was a shotgun spread 2x2. The next year I went flex bone. And I went away from flexbone because I just saw it as too many risks in there, right? So it didn't fit my philosophy. Do you still think the package we've talked about and drawn up has enough to be effective without that? I know that RPO action, just like attacking that will linebacker say, can be incredibly effective. Do I have to have it?
I do. No, we honestly, we don't run any RPOs.
Okay.
At all. It's very time intensive if you want to get good at RPOs. Like that's what you have to rep over and over again. And I have found that I just don't want to rep it. If I put more pressure on me. Like, okay, if this is the guy I want to read, then I have to get the ball out. I have to call the quick screens.
Yeah.
I have to call the passes to loosen that box up so then that we can run it. I don't want to put that on my guy because that's something else I have to put on my guy. He has to know, like, he's making the calls for the run game when we're doing the perfect run play. I allow him to tag off of 4 verts. Like I just give him the 4 verts and then he can tag off of it. I give him the ability that if I call a run and they've got 8 people in the box, he has 2 calls he can check into. I don't want to add another RPO to him and then the defense starts doing stuff. Honestly, I think defenses have caught up to the RPO and that now offenses to counter that have to get better at the quick game because that was originally why people went to the RPOs. They wanted to combine the quick game with the run. Defenses have stopped it. So now I think you got to go back to being good at the quick game and then know when to run the ball.
You know, you said quick game. It made me think of this. How much do you use slant? I've always had a hard time completing it.
Yep, I do.
Okay.
I think in the past 4 years I've completed it once.
It's hard.
It's very hard. It is very hard. And they always want to throw the first one. And then they don't realize that the first one's 99% of the time going to get squeezed. So it's always the second one that's going to be open, but they want to throw that first one.
Like Aaron Rodgers, he makes it look easy.
He's amazing.
Right? I get it. He makes it look easy. But all these high school humans, I'm like, okay, I just noticed. I'm like, we're just not completing it very often, right? And
yeah.
Sometimes, but okay. I wanted to know if that was just me because I'm notably bad. I'm not an expert.
At all, man.
Okay, it's hard. All right, man. Well, dude, that was our half hour. You got little kids. I want to let you go. I do want to ask one closing thought. Bubble, do you backpedal or how do you run? Backpedal. That's what I thought.
Backpedal. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah. Easy.
Well, fellas in the chat, thanks for joining us. Following this, you'll hear a slight break in the audio, and then we've got one of our most sought-after clinics coming up here next. It's from Derek Leonard out of Rochester, Illinois, winners of the last 7 of the last 9 state championships. They're really special at what they do. We hope you'll check that out. Coach Mckie, when your season's over, what can everybody expect from you? Like as far as your video stuff goes.
Or Madden. More Madden. I'm gonna be streaming some more Madden. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, man. I saw you got on Twitch, right?
Yes.
I watched you play one night.
You must not have had anything to do because
I had to see what Twitch was all about. I hadn't been on it before, and actually, Ron, I'm not gonna lie. That was the night I started playing FIFA. Nice. Because I saw you play it, and then you're on Twitch. I'm looking at other people. I'm like, FIFA. I'm like, you know what? I remember playing that 10 years ago. I started playing FIFA and never looked back. All right, so we can expect more Madden out of you.
Yeah.
Good. Well, Coach, really appreciate your time. Good luck this weekend. Who you guys got?
We have got Columbia High School.
Are you guys anywhere near the playoffs?
Yeah. If we win out, we'll be number 2 in our region. So we made this. The way they've done things, they're only taking the 1st and 2nd seed. So we'll wind up 2nd seed and we'll make it to the playoffs.
And that's how many weeks away?
This week and next week, so 2.
Okay. All right, man. Good luck. And stay in touch, Coach Mckie. All you guys that joined us, thank you so much. If you could leave us a thumbs up.
Thank y'all.
That'd be a huge help. We'll see you. Good night, Coach.
All right. Night, Coach.
Rochester High School, Rochester, Illinois. Glad to be bringing this presentation to you, and glad you're listening. So I'm going to go over kind of our run game and basically our down scheme, our GT and our power, and probably really more our GT and what we do, and everything from how we block it to how we practice it, everything. I mean, it's been the one thing probably in 15 years that has not changed. Probably our quick game, our GT and power, and probably some of our screens have been the one thing that have been from first year to today. You know, we changed a lot of things. There's a lot of ways, and I'm going to show you a lot of different ways that we run this stuff, and a lot of different ways we can attack with different people. So I'm going to try to find the right person to get the ball to, but it also comes back to this. And so this has been the one thing that really has not changed, I would say, in 15 years is the GT and power. And I'll kind of explain it as we go. So so originally why we ran it, and this was probably more day one stuff, I'd say 2005, and why we kind of went to the GT and power. We feel like we're a fast no huddle team, and we go as fast as humanly possible. And you know, that's who we are. That's what our kids believe in. And so I had to come up with a way of how do we go fast and make it as easy as possible for our linemen, our quarterbacks, and even myself. So we had to eliminate some run plays, right? There's things you have to check to certain techniques. Hey, you got to check it to a 1, you got to check it to a 5, B gaps open, whatever. And there's certain plays, and I did not want to do that. And so we felt like with GT and power, it didn't matter what the defense did. It could be a 3-man front, 4-man front, bear look. Man, we've seen so many looks in 15 years, and we feel like it's not always the best look to run it against, but we always felt like we did not have to check, and my quarterback didn't have to think too much. So we could always go fast. And it puts the pressure on me. Hey, if I want to run it to a 3 technique, say, I'm going to try to get in a formation where the defense, I believe, from what I've seen on film, is going to line up in a 3 technique. Hey, I'm not always right. They change weekly sometimes. But we're also, if we get a 1, we're not checking it. We're going. And so my quarterback doesn't have to think about those things. And our old linemen feel good about blocking against anything. So that's originally why we went to that. And when we started, and in the first year, we were a little bit of what we do now and wristband. And then the next year, we almost eliminated the wristband. And in 2007, it was totally eliminated. And it's kind of what we do today, where everything's verbal, and we just go fast. So same blocking from center to the play side. And this is what I love. With GT and power, from the center to the tight end, our rules are the same. So power, GT, those guys are doing the same thing every time, if that makes sense. It's not, I don't have to, it's not inside zone to outside zone where it's a little different. There's not checks. It is the same play. So we're going to get a lot of mileage. 60 to 70% of our run game, our center to tight end, front side is going to do the same thing. So they're getting great at one thing, and they're getting great and perfecting that at what they do. Now, like I said, it's going to look and it's going to have the eye candy of different things. Each year is going to be different. We're going to present a lot of things, but it's GT power when it comes down to it. So our linemen from center to tight end don't have that much. When it's all said and done, that's what they're doing, and they're doing it well. Double team the point of attack, and this was an old Coach Sawinski, a man that was my dad's O-line coach for years, and taught me a lot about, he's the best O-line coach I had ever been around, and he taught me a lot about these kind of things, and double teaming the point of attack. And that's what I think I like about GT and power the most, was we felt like in 2005 when, man, I had kids that were 180 pounds playing O-lineman, I can't base block you, I can't reach block you, one-on-one we were going to lose. So at the point of attack, we really would have liked a double team. And like I said, that doesn't always happen, but hopefully I can formation, hopefully we can get it where a lot of times where we're attacking, we're getting a double team, because we felt like, hey, and even today, this team I got coming up, hey, we're not going to be huge up front. So we feel like, man, to get movement, to get people move, we need a double team at the point of attack. Like I said, it doesn't always happen, but that was our thinking in 2005. In this GT